It was about 5 years ago when I sat spaced out during my history class in high school. Tangled in another not-so-fruitful delusion of a romance, my beloved teacher paused the class for a moment. A fan of culture and everything European, she probably tried to connect the tumultuous years of our adolescence and Louis V by recommending a movie. It's an 80s classic, French, named PARTYMACHEN. After 4 years of German with a vocabulary of a coloring book for 3-year-olds, I'm not surprised how for years I never put together the French with a German title, as I recommended the movie to my friends or theirs. It's an 80s classic, French, named PARTYMACHEN. In the years after realizing that I'll never get into linguistics, I thought, what else could best describe my patterns of romance? The ideas over substance, or the begging for bare minimums. I never intended this to be about anyone specific, nor to be a matter of observation. In fact, I thought I would never write a song about anyone. Funny enough, I managed to write about almost everyone. And after half a decade of writing songs, perfecting my profession, and claiming to be self-made, I have a 60s classic. It's French, 4 tracks, named PARTYMACHEN. My first demo dates back to August 23rd, 2020. 2 days prior to my birthday, I must have been sitting in a rehearsal room, floor wet from the garage band attending prior, as I recorded the first takes of Panism. An iTunes hit, which I initially released in 2020, found a newfound format after an established LA songwriter referred to my early writing as, "Good job, you'll get there." After spending a month locked up in my uncle's cellar in the middle of Germany with a piano to rewrite the song, I took a last-minute bus before COVID border closings to ask my vocal coach, "Hey, do you want to collaborate with me?" To be an artist is to put tremendous amount of effort into your craft. Carry out with grace and acknowledge that you will never be the smartest in the room. So me and my coach, Audrey, spent the rest of the year writing songs for her album and for my album. Looking back as an established expat and a freelancer, I turned to my friend asking if I'll be ready after this one. As we reached the peak of my range, she stopped the scale. Leaning forward, Audrey closed and she whispered, "The best part is that you'll never end up being ready." It was 1924, probably the best time to leave Berlin when Kafka returned to his family in Prague. It was there where his worsening tuberculosis heightened. The writer took his last breath just at the beginning of the summer. Flattened in the linen sheets of a bare room, Franz Kafka died of starvation. His throat close to a point that the starving artist remained unable to consume anything, let alone say anything. I once had a throat infection and I remember not being able to eat yogurt. Just like Kafka, the things that suffocate an artist are the unspoken. In pop, it's all smoke and mirrors. At times you feel like the king of the world. Then another day, you patiently wait for your friend to listen to the 5th mixes of your songs, but all you see is their letterbox activity from 3 hours ago. Regardless, people can see through the smoke, and the very best way to get to them is to tell who you really are. When I asked my manager, "How can I tell the truth?" I answered myself, authenticity. So, to find the very best version of myself, I asked my marketing professionals.
I like that you already click.
Is on?
Want me to smile when you tell me?
You can smile if you how I asked my marketing professionals to decide what PR tactics make people click. Just say my name, flip a record, play me over, say my I's my mother, what will I be? Will I be pretty? Will I be... After waking up at 7 a.m. for a therapy cleanup, I thought about Kafka again. Meeting my 3rd hour of vacuuming, I realized that us artists share similar fates. With only one glass of water and a xylitol mint in my body, the best way to become authentic lies within the burdens of letting things pass. This is where I live. After cleaning up tiles people used to use for cocaine in my dorm, my mom found a shared apartment on Facebook, and on the 1st of May I moved in here. This is where I write. It's an ASOS Vivo book, and I have all the bootleg expansion packs for Sims 4. This is where I evaluate whether another outfit fits my budget, or do I deserve another retinol anti-aging cream. I'm 23. This is where I draw. It's an attic and a cellar all in one. Berlin. Opening night. Virginia Woolf. I think the colors are marvelous. And that's the oldest thing in this place. This is where all the state lunches are given. The oldest thing since the very beginning. It's all 1902. According to the internet lore, every pop star has a distinctive hairstyle. Change of color signifies the beginning of a new era. Think of Confessions on the Dance Floor, Katy Perry, or when Selena Gomez had that one blue highlight in 2008. Most of the time, I have someone else do my hair for me, but today I have to. It is cover art day. When I thought about visualizing PARTYMACHEN, I thought of a cover art for each track so that when people buy the vinyl one day, they'll have 4 images spread across the sheet to go through. After the photographer asked for double his salary 2 days before the shoot, I thought if I already came up with it, I might as well just do it by myself. But obviously I never said that. There's really no more Camelot. And his fantasy, baby. Thank you. That's it. This time, I really did that. My coach said I'm one in a generation of a talent. Yago has been producing my songs for over a year now. I blackmailed him last February, and today we are recording my next single, His Fantasy. He loves me. The intricacy of a great art is to always give in to others' opinion. He always takes my performances to the next level. The things that he sees in ooh, champagne splitters. Texas waiting and tore my lace. Back on my shoulder, you rolled my. Come stick it out. Leather in the face, I'll stick it out. How clean the cut, clap at the tongue. So guys, we don't have to play the track for this one at all. But yeah, it's much longer. I think it all started with Alejandro. At 9 or 10 years old, watching men dance in high heels, kissing and spinning gaga evoked something homosexual in me, and from that day on, I knew I wanted to become a video artist. I always loved movies too. Paris is Burning, Bob Fosse, The Incredibles. I often end up writing my songs around video ideas or at least something visual to grasp onto. From early on, I knew that if I wanted to do this, I either will go big or go home. After receiving a spot at UCLA for a year, I missed out on scholarships for funding, and I decided to avoid my only option left, which was getting loans. Upon learning that I wasn't able to afford UCLA, my family brought together enough to cover the whole year for me. Deep down I knew that as much as I fought to get in, and how so many people dreamed of having this experience, I felt that if I went on to focus another year on studying, I would have never had the time to do music. So instead of taking it out for school, I asked if I could loan out 1/3 of the money and stay where I am and make music. To my surprise, my mother, who's a teacher with multiple degrees, agreed. Maybe because she understood how I always wanted to do this, or maybe because she once hoped to become a dancer but was never let by my grandparents. I spent the last year moving back to Berlin, getting a job, attending school, and doing what I asked help for. I've spent the winter getting bitched by producers to accidentally finding the one, talking to filmmakers how my ideas are not possible to do, crawling in piss for a video, having friends come and wait for hours to help with the video. I paid with stale pizzas. As I was decluttering the night before the shoot, I happened to find my year-end certificates from elementary school. Early on, they didn't really hand out grades but written reports on school performance. On April 10th in 2010, I was actually just 8 years old. Alejandro just hit the radio and I was close enough to finish 2nd grade. The year-end report described me as loves music, mostly able to hold a note, then later as independent, polite, and needs some encouragement. The night before I headed on to set, I recalled how a year before I didn't even know if I would be able to do this. By the things given to me, I knew that I definitely won't be able to make this happen again, let alone see this much money in my hands ever. Knowing this, I turned my alarm on and accepted that if I fuck it up, this is it. But at last, a video killed this radio star too. Upon my 2nd snowy winter in Berlin, I just finished my near Christmas rush shift when my colleagues stopped by for a day closing discourse at the now silent boutique store. As we went on with the complaints of management and the weather, a caring compliment left one of them as I became a matter of observation. I remember every bit of what I was wearing. Skin-tight crop tank top, belly button out, light jacket in the freezing wind, and probably a sleeping pill already in my bloodstream to cure how I haven't been able to sleep for a month. For the first time after seeking validation in every compliment, I stared bitter into the midst of the city landscape. Later in an office party, I turned this compliment from something celebratory to something numbing. In the midst of hands raising the glasses with natural wines, I felt as a fly slowly sinking to the bottom of one of these drinks. Then in the mirror, as I splashed my face with water, the future started moving and my face became taller, sometimes wider, other times rougher. As I later had a hard time brushing my teeth or just simply walking in front of the mirror, my image of self distorted and I could no longer understand what it meant when I heard that I'm not just a pretty face.
Sink down deep under glass side.